Welcome to the pursuit.
Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of the Pursuit. It's time for some real talk. Because it's been a while, obviously, been away for a while, with good reason. People following the channel will probably already know. I've injured myself a little over 3 months ago. How's it? 3 months? 4 months. 4 months already. 4 months of barely being able to train my upper body and just getting stuck into a deep deep and basically deeper going hole. And it's been really rough mentally, both physically and mentally. Physically, because like constantly reminded, when I move my arm, just trying to do like normal daily things, doing client check-ins, uh, washing my hair, opening car doors, basic shit. Just being reminded of that pain and like, hey, it's there. And then the mental part, which is the hardest part, of not being able to train and seeing my physique go backwards. I don't want to sound too dramatic, but it's been one of the toughest times for me yet so far. Mentally, I'm talking pure on that front. Because I've been in a ditch. I'm still in there, just on my way trying to climb out. Basically, if we take it back to the beginning, it sort of happened. I kind of knew what was going on with my shoulder because it's not the first time that I felt this pain. I just didn't realize yet at that time how severe it actually was in comparison to what I thought it'd be. I thought it was just going to be some inflammation in my bicep tendon, but it turned out to be much more than that. I've had 2 MRIs, I've had ultrasounds. Basically, from what they were able to see, it was a whole clusterfuck going on there. Like my bicep tendon was inflamed, but also partially torn. My subscapularis tendon was partially torn and therefore also inflamed. And then my supraspinatus tendon was also inflamed. And then I also had some bursitis going on, so there's a bursa in there, um, which was also inflamed. So that was the whole clusterfuck. And because I didn't realize the severity of it in the beginning, I was trying to train around it, do what I can, basically, which was not a whole lot. And in me trying to do that, I didn't really give my body time to start the healing process because I was still aggravating it, even with doing things that I thought I would be able to do, such as doing like a deadlift. And so the realization settled in slowly but surely. And now we're talking. I'm already a month in at this point. I was at this point like, okay, I can't train much. I can do cardio. I can do some things for legs which don't involve me holding things or stuff. So I just try to stick to that. And then time went on and it didn't seem to improve, which just made me lose faith in the fact that it's ever gonna be better. That is just the training part. that's just the training part. Because at the same time, I'm thinking, right, I've just earned my pro card. I've just earned my chance to compete in the pro league. I want to prove myself. I know there's a massive gap. I'm realistic. I know there's a massive gap that I need to fill from earning my pro card to being able to step on a pro stage. In my mind, I don't have time to lose, which by now I just lost 4 months, which is a fucking whole lot of time, if you ask me. And that is then also settling in and creating pressure of like, hey, mate, you're seeing guys around you grow. You're not growing. You're actually going backwards. What are you gonna do? And then on top of that, it's my work, right? I want to be a good example for the people I coach, but also for people watching. And right now, I feel like I can't be. And for the past period, I felt like I couldn't be, which was also weighing down on me. So all that weight just piling up, you have the physique part, you have the not being able to train, which training for me is a huge, huge stress reliever. I know it's a physical stress still training, but just being able to go in and train heavy for me mentally, that's a huge stress reliever. So not being able to do that, seeing my physique go backwards, feeling the pressure of, wanting to prove myself as a pro, and then work on top of that and being a good example. And then with all that weight, not seeing any improvement while trying my best, I'm doing the peptides, I'm giving my body rest, I'm trying to do stabilization movements and stuff, but even those were hurting back at that time. And so I didn't see myself go forward in any capacity, which then only made that hole go deeper and deeper, feeling like I'm never gonna get out of this. And right now, like I said, we're 4 months in, 4 months, still upper body training is still fuck all if I compare it to what I used to do, both in terms of weight and volume. Currently, I am able to train somewhat. I'm following the rehab plan made by Shabeli, my girlfriend. She's a physiotherapist, and she helped me get set out a program which I can follow for 12 weeks and saying okay, this is a 12-week rehab program where we're going to focus on addressing the issue, which is going to be how my shoulder blade moves now, stabilization, and being able to control that. And the exercises are geared towards that. Plus, then we have a couple of traditional strength exercises in there, which I can try to get stronger in and apply kind of that scapular movement in. So right now I'm able to. I've tried everything, man. I've tried doing full body front, full body back split. If you go and check my last video, that's where I was doing that. Didn't work because I was still aggravating it. Then I've tried upper lower, didn't work. Then I tried legs only, still I was aggravating it somehow because it wasn't getting better. Then I tried taking completely off, so I took completely off, and then on top of that I got a lung infection, which was great, set me back even further. But in a way, because the back end of that, I was more than 2 weeks of total rest, not doing anything. My shoulder did feel a little bit better. So from there on out, we started the rehab program, which we're now 2 or 3 weeks into. So now I'm doing push-pull legs. For the push and pull sessions, the majority of that is going to be rehab exercises, and then later on in the session I'm doing some traditional exercises. Pull, so back is getting better, I'm able to do more weight and a little bit more variety of exercises, but it's still not 100%. Push is still a shit show, I just did push today. I don't want to bring the camera in right now because I feel like a fucking pussy training with these light weights and then putting a camera up there and having people look at you even more, because I already feel people looking at me when I'm training with light weights and they're like, the fuck is this guy doing? It might all be in my head though, but I still feel like it. And then if I bring the camera, that's going to be just more, which I don't want. So that's why I didn't do it. Might do it next week though, if I'm brave enough. Did push today, and I struggled with 30 kilo dumbbells pressing. My chest on the right side doesn't want to fire really, and basically, I don't know if you can see because I'm wearing black, but if I'm pressing, the wrong thing that happens is basically my right shoulder goes like that. This is exaggerated, but this is kind of what it does. So that scapula is kind of moving like that instead of just like this around the rib cage. It's kind of moving up and coming over. And I'm getting stronger in my rehab movements. And training is a bit up and down, as in last push session, that's hard to say. Last push session, I did the same weight, felt easier, less pain, even went up to 40 kilo dumbbells, which was okay. And then this push session, and that's only what, 4 days later, it felt like a total shit show again, as in the 30 kilos wasn't feeling too nice on my shoulder, couldn't fire my chest up, and then I would call it a temporary depression. It's right in that moment where I feel like, I was feeling like, okay, there's progress, there's light, I can see it, I can get out of this shithole, and then with today's session, I feel like sucked right back into it because it didn't feel better. 4 months in, Bailey says probably going to be another 3 months before you are back to your previous capacity. Realistically, that takes out a whole year for me in terms of progress. So meaning I just set myself, if we're just looking at pro debut, I've just set myself back a good year at the least. Which, to be fair, like it sucks, but that's not even for me the hardest part. The hardest part for me, I like to compete, but what I like more is to train hard and heavy, and that is something I cannot do right now, at least for my upper body and especially for push. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying like I want to get out of this hole and be free again, free of that pain. At the same time though, I know there's worse things in the world, so I'm not trying to be like I said, I don't want to be too dramatic. It's just I'm just trying to share my internal like process and where I've been over the past couple of months in my head. I'm just trying to do what I can right now, which is, to be fair, is giving me, it's lightened up that load, the load which I was talking about, and I'm feeling better because I'm back into a routine now with the rehab training, doing my cardio daily, 20 minutes. I'm doing push-pull legs off repeat. There is progress here and there in terms of training. Like I said, back's going better. But I still have a long way to go. And so I guess the moral of the story is don't get injured, which I think is not something I have to tell anyone. It's truly true. That's the thing to say. That one training session won't give you a whole lot of progress, even if you hit new PBs and everything. It will give you progress, but it won't give you a whole lot of progress in one training session. But one training session can set you back multiple months. Even though I know that this injury wasn't caused in one training session, but it can happen. So be smart out there with your training. Listen to your body, because I haven't. That's another thing I want to talk about. Like I just said, I'm realistic. I know that there's a big gap that I need to fill between turning pro and being able to stand on a pro stage. Basically, from the moment I won my pro card in France, I've been hammering myself nonstop, honestly, in the gym without properly listening to my body, which resulted in me just setting myself back multiple months because I was just trying to basically double the speed of progress or maximize it. Ended up being not productive because I was just doing too much. And I'm not even talking about volume necessarily. Volume is one part, but I was just doing too much for what I was able to recover from. Progressions with weight, volume as well, and then recovery wasn't like the best because I've had some issues with my CPAP post show, so sleep had sort of a deficit. So basically that was just looking back on it, that was just a recipe for disaster, which it turned out to be. So that's just a lesson for me, but lesson or not, is still something that really impacted me mentally and still is, but like I said, it's getting better. Just wanted to put this out there so you guys know where I've been. I'm still committed to showing my journey and helping others along the way, and educating people where I can, and obviously, like I said, being a good example. It's just that my head wasn't in the right space for me to do this kind of stuff, and it's only this week that I decided, like, hey, I'm gonna get back on this horse and just grab the bull by the horns. These are all like fucking corny things to say, but you get what I mean. So that's what we're doing here. Taking responsibilities, taking accountability, and just moving the fuck on, because time waits for no man. That's another corny thing to say. Fuck, man. I'm still in pursuit. I'm still working towards that goal. It's just that I've endured a setback right now, and I'm working on my way back. If I feel brave enough, I'll show you what I'm doing in the gym, especially with push, because I feel like that's where it really comes together with the injury. Back was impossible for me to do in the beginning as well, but it's a lot easier for me now. But push is really fucking fucked. That's just it. So if I feel brave enough, I'll take the camera with me, and we'll do a training session as well somewhere this coming week. Hopefully with some progress to show you guys. And physique wise, I'm just gonna keep my clothes on until I feel comfortable again, because right now, like, I've lost about 4 kilos. At my peak, I was close to 122 times 2.2. That's it in pounds. Now I'm 117 and a half, and also a little bit softer. So food-wise, I started to pull things down a little bit. Right now I'm I wouldn't say much in a deficit. Maybe I'm slightly in a deficit, and I've added in more output, so steps and cardio back up. So what I'm focusing on right now is just getting my body composition in a good spot. Not that I'm fat now; it's just too soft for my liking. But getting my body composition in a good spot whilst I'm recovering from this injury, so that when I'm recovered, I'm in a good spot for me to start pushing and going back up with appetite in a good position, body fat in a good position, partitioning in a good position, insulin sensitivity, all of that stuff. And yeah, that's what we're working for right now. So that is my update. I know not too much of an exciting video, but this is just me getting back into it. So I hope you still enjoy it. And if you're going through kind of the same thing in one way or another, the only thing I'd want to say there is just one day at a time, take it one day at a time, and just look for small little wins. It's not going to be a linear process like I just, with my push session today. There's ups and downs, but as long as there is some progress going on and you are working, being productive towards your goals, then that's the best thing you can do, and you are on your way. That's it for today. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank my sponsors as well for sticking with me. And then see you guys for the next episode.